Good afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, and we have a little bit of an unwind here going on. How can stocks keep going higher? We're going to talk about it today, and we'll get into what we're going to look at tomorrow with the employment data. First, if you give the video a thumbs up, helps out the channel. Appreciate you guys all. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Again, more winners taken today in both services. We got a deal going on for another week or two till July 11th. It's our summer sale. First month off, 60% off. Active trader, 40% off all courses and 30% off swing trade. So get in on that while you can. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here with another, and this is just again over and over and over. Look at ES. So we gap down here, and this is an astronomical miss in payrolls. So it was the expected was I believe 33. The expected was 99,000 jobs added, and we had negative 33K. So that amounted to a 20-point drop in ES. That's it. And you might say, well, of course it did, because that means rate cut odds went up. Yeah, but that's not Goldilocks, right? Like there's a Goldilocks miss and then there's a big miss. This was a big miss. And in a normal market, this should have gone down a lot. But what's going on here, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, heavy dispersion, right? So QQQ momentum is unwinding a little bit. So we flip back over here. We can talk about the Goldman Sachs high beta. Momo pair, long story short, momentum trade is waning a little bit. And we talked about this with, that little hanging man on the QQQ, which, didn't really amount to much as for right now. But what's going up here? The Russell, right? The Russell's really the beneficiary of that. And that's essentially what's going on here. So you have heavy dispersion, right? Volatility's pinned at the index level, which means dips are going to be supported. And the market's just going to be able to grind up and shake that data off. Tomorrow, though, we are getting into 620 here is a pretty good dealer level. And there's definitely a little bit of natural resistance up here too. Some from like a mathematical standpoint, a little bit of a dealer level. So we're looking at 620, and I can even show you this is exclusive here, but hey, it's the holidays, so yeah, 620 is it's a pretty good dealer level right here. This is for July OPEX too. Now it's just so you know, it's very positively hedged. Meaning that, it's not like they're going to necessarily sell through this, but they may stop buying. And we're going into employment data tomorrow too. So just be aware of that. Maybe we see a little bit of euphoria tomorrow and maybe some mean reversion. We'll see. But 6250, and maybe like 622 SPY. Going to be a little bit of resistance. You can see the cues. Again, 550 continues to walk that back in, and that continues to, as we just mentioned, that momentum kind of trade is a little bit weaker. Overall though, it's not the worst thing. I mean, QQQ equal weight is at all-time highs as well. I hear people talking about breadth here as if it's bad. It's really not. I mean, yeah, RSP's off of all-time highs, but it's not like it's, if it was going down and we were going up, that would be a problem. But I don't think breadth has actually been very good, right? In fact, that was one of the big. I don't have the Zwag bread thrust in front of me, but you can see, you can see it in the McClellan. That's a massive thrust, right? The breadth is good here. We're thrusting up nicely. So I don't know where this narrative's coming from. I've been watching this every day, and it's positive every day. Yesterday we were at like 80% update on it, in a tape that was down. I was like 70%, but still with a down tape, that's pretty good. So I don't think that's really a problem here, but there is a little bit of dispersion though, and that's just going to keep us buoyant. There has been a little bit of hedging though. I am noticing VVIX start to just ever so slightly, diverge. It's flat. It's flat in a tape that's up pretty big. But again, we have non-farm payroll tomorrow. That's kind of healthy. It's kind of what it should be doing. You can see the VIX here started higher, fell pretty sharply. Other vol products here, coming off the lows a little bit. There's VIX futures there. I don't really like VIX futures, but actually the, what's better is actually the mini. Little secret, just because the spread's only a penny or two. I don't like how the VIX futures has that 5 point spread. I hate looking at those charts, but nonetheless, ES holding up here. SPX, yeah, next big level is 62.50. So we just keep chugging higher, right? Everybody was calling the top there. Remember Friday? Oh my God, it's over. We just keep chugging up. But yeah, I mean, are we long in the tooth? Yeah, we are. But I just don't think that we're going to see anything too crazy. And by the way, the market's closed Friday. The futures aren't even open. And the market is closed after 1 p.m. tomorrow. So I don't know. If you're expecting a big sell, I don't think you're going to be too satisfied with tomorrow. It's just, we're in the summer doldrums here. And yeah, the volatility's pinned. So till that changes, I don't really see us doing a ton, but we can dip a lot. The next thing too is everybody's calling for we got to retest the breakout. We'll see. I mean, a lot of shorts are getting, forced sellers now as these pairs unwind. But nonetheless, yeah, market's up today. QQQ holding up. IWM, that's through a dealer level at 220. Next level's 225. So that pushed through that. Dow is flat today, but nice breakout there, as we've talked about. SMH here, I think it just got back to double top, essentially. So it set that high a year ago. Maybe it gaps up to all-time highs tomorrow if we get some euphoria. Maybe it's a little gap and crap, who knows. IGV, red to green day. Still acting very well. Transport's up 1.29. So again, you got these key sectors here. Transports, semis, IGV. I don't know where this breadth argument is coming from. And Russell's up, right? Russell's leading. Transport. Excuse me. Russell's leading. Transport's leading, and semis leading. See, it's the bears. They're trying to get me right now. They're mad. But yeah, market breadth is okay. Yields today on the 2-year were up, and again, that is with ridiculously weak employment data. So we'll see how non-farm payroll comes in tomorrow. It looks to me like the market's trying to bet on a hot number. I don't know. We'll see. Long-term yields are up. Could be because of the triple B, the big beautiful bill. Going to add $1 bazillion to our deficit every 5 seconds, but we'll see. The short end though could be affected tomorrow. XHB inside day after being up massive yesterday. No problems with this. VNQ still looks good. That's curling back up. I love the weekly chart on that. XLF down 9 cents. No big deal. It's just off all-time highs. KRE, again, this is what I mean when I say this unwind here of Momo. Let's get rid of, actually, look at that beautiful 618 test earlier this year, by the way. And then a nice weekly pattern. I talked about this last week too, and I gave this one out as a freebie. Looking at, and XHB too. Saying, look at these are catch-up plays here. But anyway, yeah, good move in the regional banks. Broker dealers, oh, surprise, they're at all-time highs. Oil had a nice rebound today. It's up 3%. So very good here. Again, a lot of shorts in this too, as there always is. XLE up just under 2%. Nice move there. I'd like to see that reclaim the 200 and then get above this to really reestablish trend. So weekly, look at how coiled this thing is. I mean, this is, that's coiled on the monthly too. XOP OIH up as well. Nat gas up 2%. Nothing really to write home about there. Dollar index basically kind of on the flatter side. It did get a little bounce. And again, something that's sold off into the jobs report. I think it was heavily reported as like the worst start to the year since like 1973, or the worst quarter since 1973, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. If we get hot jobs tomorrow, which I think we might, that's kind of I'm thinking we're going to get hot jobs. This could squeeze. So we'll see. Gold here holding up fine. Basically, I think some of my traders are still holding this from Monday morning. So it hit my resistance level, hit the 50% fib, and it didn't really pull back much, did it? So there's a difference between like a rejection right? Like a rejection would be like it got hit. This is just backed off. So this can probably go up to the 618, maybe 3,400. So gold hanging in there just fine. And gold likes everything. Gold likes, if we get rate cuts, it's good for gold. If we don't get rate cuts, it's also good for gold. The only thing that's going to take gold down to me is if positioning just gets so crazy in the futures market. And I don't think we're anywhere near that right now. Silver up 1% here. That's still just fine. Platinum, again, another high. 6.34%. Palladium, working on another high as well, or very close to it. And copper was up big today, also another high there. Some of these miners too, like look at Southern Copper. That is, I like that gap through the 200 moving average. Nice pattern here too, kind of on the weekly. And a nice flag there and nice breakout. I haven't looked at too many others recently. Yeah, FCX looking pretty good too. I haven't looked at these. I'll look at them in the weekend video. So we'll see about those. But yeah, nice price action there. And then lastly, everybody's talking about Bitcoin right now, of course. And by the way, Ethereum looking pretty good. All right, so it had that fake out liquidity grab, filled out this breakout. I like that. And now it's pushing back up. Up a little over 7% today. Bitcoin, just off all-time highs. I would have liked it if it, here's my hunch. I think NFA, not financial advice, but I think this is a little bit of a fake out. I don't know. It just looks, 4th of July, get everybody all pumped up around the grill. They like to pump it into these holidays. And I would have just preferred if we had one more dunk of this, like, area here and then done that. I always like to see a higher low here first too, even if we don't touch the low. Like we did that kind of here, right? We had like a higher low there, we had it right here, we were looking, and I told you all, if you remember back to last year, I said specifically look for a higher low that doesn't make it to the low. That's how you know it's ready to break out. And it just didn't really do that. So again, I'm not saying I'm bearish. Its trend is up, it's acting really well, but weekly looks good. 20 MA's basically caught up to price. But just a hunch, I think that maybe it gets faked out. But outside of that, nothing wrong with it. Lastly, yeah, spiders here, just continuing to inch up here weekly. Weekly chart looks good. We're gonna close again. Looks like above, last week's high, or above rather the previous all-time high. Barring like a massive meltdown tomorrow, but I don't think that's going to happen with a short day and basically everybody on vacation. So, but anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Yeah, and you guys take care. Have a good one. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.